doing. Murph, we made it.
Hello.
I'm pumped. Oh my god, I'm so excited it worked. I was just telling the people that um, I'm not very good at social media with these takeover things, so I was a little bit nervous with the connection, but
Me too.
we got it.
Hey,
We nailed it.
you see my shirt?
I like it. Team Easton and Alabama. It's all
Yes.
about the U. Freaking Bama U. That's awesome.
You
How
doing?
are you doing, Murph? What have you been up to in quarantine?
Oh man, um, I've read a lot of books. I've got a ton
Nice.
on my. I'm going to recommend a couple to everybody, but
Yes.
a ton on my table here, and been watching some good stuff on TV. Not really a lot of you know fluff.
Yeah,
A lot of podcasts, a lot of Zoom calls with the team, a
that's
lot of
good.
handwritten notes to team and alums and family members. I try to write my mom a note every single day so she gets something in her mailbox
That's
because
awesome.
that's the highlight of her day.
That's so awesome. That is awesome. What books have you been reading?
Well, one of my favorites is I've read it before, but it's called The Power of Moments. And I was going to mention to, you know, all those seniors that lost their last year, especially, high school, that probably aren't going to get it back.
Yeah.
In this book, they talked about there's a peak and there's an end to every like moment that you're in or situation, and the peak is the best or the worst. Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
sure everybody has a favorite memory of high school softball, or but then the end is the second thing that they remember the most, and the end is what kind of we missed.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, before we talked earlier this morning, if there's a way to have a celebration, even if it's on a Zoom call, to kind of finalize the season. And, you've been through so many teams where when the last pitch is thrown or the last pitch is caught for strike three, or you catch the last out to win a championship or a world championship, hopefully a gold medal next year. It's finalizing a team and a season, and, you want to end on a good note.
Yeah.
So if there's a way to celebrate the end of a season, I would do that. And
Yeah.
so many
For
people
sure.
are more creative than me, and there's probably going to be really cool ways that we're going to find out about. People have done this after all this is over, so I'd love to hear some good ideas.
Yeah, for sure. And Garrison's a senior in high school, the youngest of all of us, and I've been struggling with like what to tell him because it's not anything that's like precedented, and I can't put myself in his shoes. Like I have no idea what he's feeling, and I've just been telling him like try to maximize the time that you do have. Like what advice would you give to those high school seniors or even college seniors that might not come back? Like
Well, I
what to
think
do?
always look at the good things. Remember all the good memories from a career, and most of the time an athlete 10 years 15 years later, and you're probably the same way, you remember the bus rides, you remember the funny moments at the restaurant, you remember the funny times at a hotel where something happened or whatever. And um, it's things like that they remember. Most people don't remember the score of a game or a game. It's the relationships that you formed with the teammate,
Yeah.
and you're going to have that forever.
Right.
He's gonna have best friends from his high school baseball team forever in his life. So that's a positive. Um, just try to remember the good times.
Yeah.
And for most kids, um, it's person first, athlete second. So there's so many more things
Always.
out there, than athletics. It's such a huge thing. I always say, when you played for me, it's a 4 chapter of hopefully like an 85 chapter book of your life. It's
Yep.
only 4 small chapters, and the best is yet to come.
Always. It's still my favorite saying to this day. To this day. That's good. I love
What are
everything
you
about
What have you
that.
been doing?
I have been like you. I've been reading books. I've been listening to podcasts. I've been um, writing a lot. I've gotten into blogging over the past like few weeks or so, and that's been good. It's just been like the struggle for me, I think, has been maintaining a routine as best I can because we came off tour where everything was laid out to us minute by minute by minute. And that's kind of the mindset that we were all in. We're bouncing around from all these places. We're practicing at this time. We're lifting. We're conditioning. we're getting ready for July, what we thought was going to be July. And then all of a sudden it just stopped. And now we have nothing to do. We have nothing on our schedules. Everything's canceled. And it's like, how am I actually filling my time as best I can? So I've tried to make a schedule of like, in the morning I'm going to do my reading and my writing. In the afternoon I'm going to do my lifting and my conditioning, and like trying to mix in all of that stuff. I'm trying to stay as busy as I can and like trying to learn, because I think the physical part of softball I can kind of get back into, but I want to make sure that I'm maximizing the time that I have mentally, because when you're just going, 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 sometimes you don't have an opportunity to stop and think.
Right.
And I love what you said too a second ago about like the seniors and what they're going to miss. Like what I notice right now is like I don't necessarily miss the game of softball itself right now. I miss my teammates, and I miss the bus rides. I miss the plane rides. I miss, having to fight people at the airport to check bags, and it's all like it's just super chaotic of us trying to travel, and that's what I miss. I miss playing Mafia on the bus, our little card game that we play. Like that's what I miss. I miss the people. So,
The
but
other thing that I would say about the kids now, this is a time right now for a lot of kids to get ahead of the pack.
yeah,
There's going to be kids that are basically just going to sit on the couch and eat Cheetos and Doritos and not do anything,
yeah, no, you're right.
But think of the kids that actually, small incremental improvements day to day to day. Like I told my sisters and my team, I said, I'm going to take this time. I'm going to lose some weight. So the goal was 215. It was 216.2 this morning.
Nice.
I probably said some not so good words, but but I've been trying to like walk it off. The neighborhood here where I live is quiet. It's peaceful. It's not busy at all. So I'm okay walking outside. I'm lucky.
Yeah.
But take something of your game, if you're a player, and work on that bit by bit by bit. Daily little habits will improve you. And I'm going to say some good things about Haylie now. Is she was a very talented kid coming in, but the thing that set her apart is her work ethic was second to none. And not only was she good when she came in, but she was better when she left.
Yeah.
And not many kids, I can't say that about. And you're getting better still. And I always say when I speak to people, I said, I got a former player, and I'm kind of bragging about you. And she starts for USA in center field, which really means to say that she's the best outfielder in the world. So, top that.
It's cool.
Yes.
It's really freaking cool. But yeah, I think like, I don't know, you taught me to, like, one of the first and foremost things you ever taught me was to pay attention to detail, to like look at the really small, fine things in your game and see like what can you get better at bit by bit. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for kids to look at that now, because you have that opportunity to reflect of like, okay, like for me personally, it's like, how can I get better? Like I want to get a little bit better slapping over this. So when I'm hitting, I'm working a lot more of my slap mechanics, and like just little, like the smallest of details you can find and work right now because you have the time.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about 4-hour long team practices and then trying to, work on your small stuff. Like you have all the opportunity in the world to work on your small stuff right now. Then go back to the fundamentals and be consistent with it, because it's like little building blocks, one day at a time, brick by brick. Like if you just keep doing it and keep going at it, you're gonna come out of this like a freaking all-star.
There's another book, and I don't know if you've read this, Haylie, probably, but it's called Atomic Habits.
Great one.
And you just said tiny changes, remarkable results.
Yeah.
And it's an easy read. It's not a textbook. Because
No.
if it was a textbook, I wouldn't read it. But the author is actually a former Division III baseball player. I don't know if you knew that, but
I did not know that.
Yeah, so he was a pitcher in college, and he was at a school named Denison University. I know the baseball coach there, great guy. But this is one of his, or it was a former player from that school, and he's an athlete, so he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah,
and
that's amazing.
It's really helped me with my kids at Alabama too. So I highly recommend that book.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Are you guys, like, as a team, are you guys doing stuff together right now? Like, are you reading a book as a team? Are you having Zoom meetings? What does that look like for you guys? Because like a lot of schools are doing different things.
Yeah, I decided, we would I try to write a personal note I've divided up the team among 5 days or so,
Mm-hmm.
and I write 4 kids a note every fifth day. We text, we email, we call. The coaching staff divided up the team in terms of pitchers with Steph, outfielders with Allie,
Mm-hmm.
catchers with Bryn, infielders with me. So, that was our main, group to emphasize. But then, you can call everybody.
Yeah.
And then every Tuesday we have a Zoom call and everybody checks in, and I have a guest speaker.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, and they don't know who it is until we get on, and then everybody's, they go through the little Zoom to see, the last guy in the line.
Who's coming on?
And then most of the times they're like, who is that? Who's that? But today, I think they're really going to like the gentleman today. Last week we had a gentleman named Clay Scroggins, who's the pastor of Buckhead Church in Atlanta, who is from Tuscaloosa. Just a great guy. You would love him, Haylie.
Yeah.
Look up his stuff.
I will.
Really cool guy. Huge Alabama fan.
Well, how can you not be? How can you not be a huge Alabama fan?
Yeah, went to Central High School. So, but the Zoom calls last about an hour and a half. Everybody checks in. Everybody reports at the beginning. And that connection is key because, most of them have gone home. They really can't go anywhere. Yeah. I mean, you're pretty much isolated, as you know. We're kind of by ourselves except for phone, computer, and that's the way we communicate now. So we just got to do that.
I love that. We've been doing that as like the national team, just the players. We're doing it every Tuesday too. We do TED Talk Tuesdays. So what we're doing is we're doing like a check-in where everyone's like, hey, what are you up to? Like, whatever, what do we need to talk about? When are we going to play softball again? All of that like administrative stuff that we have to get to. But then one person on the team gives a TED Talk, so like 15, 20 minutes max, about something that they're passionate about outside of softball.
Have you done yours?
I did mine, yes. I did mine on obviously strength and conditioning and all of that fun stuff of like what to look for in coaches and how to not get all of your fitness advice off Instagram because it's probably not super reliable. And how fitness and strength and conditioning are two different things. And I mean, it's so fun just to watch like the passion in people's eyes, like of something that's completely unrelated to sport. Is really, really cool. And it's giving us an opportunity to get to know each other even better than we would have, if we were still on tour playing. Because we're so focused on playing and getting better, and that's what our focus should be. But right now we're actually getting a chance to go a little bit deeper into our connections and our relationships. And, like, what I'm starting to realize is just how truly important that is. It's like I think it's talked about so much, but it's not necessarily put into practice as it should be, and like it's so important for us.
Maybe this year delay will be a blessing in disguise for you guys.
I really think it will. Like we're getting to know each other so much better. We're having so much fun, and it's crazy because we previously had 6 months to prepare for 6 games in Tokyo. Now we have 18.
Yeah,
like that is insane to me.
And
18 months.
And I'm sure you guys and Kenny, the whole USA softball, I'm doing the same thing, but I'm sure that they're sitting down saying, this was kind of a dress rehearsal. What did we learn? What did we learn? What do we need to do better? What do we not need to do? Mm-hmm. And then just be even more prepared, whenever you guys start again. I don't know if you'll do the tour again, but believe me, all of us here, we're really looking forward to having you back in center field at the Rhodes House. And we were this close. I know. We had sold almost like $68,000 worth of tickets.
That's crazy.
Kat texted me and said, I've never played at Rhodes Stadium. I got to play at Rhodes Stadium. So, I feel bad for all the ladies and everybody involved with USA softball because it was a huge, culmination of 12 years that softball was out of the Olympics. And but I'm just really glad they're going to happen next year.
Yeah, same. I was glad too. I can deal with a postponement. It's not an issue. It's like an extra year of softball, like whatever. I'm 25, like my body can handle it, but just the mental side of all of that, it's been crazy. But softball, like, I don't know, our sport has been through so much at an international level. It's like we get punched, we get knocked down, and we just keep getting back up. And
Yeah.
for us, like potentially, we were supposed to be the first, event played
Yeah.
in Tokyo, and I think that's still going to be the case. It's not official yet, but what a cool opportunity for us to be like what actually gets the world potentially back to normal on a
Yeah.
world stage like that. Like that's going to be a pretty cool opportunity. And I think that's one of the things that's getting me through this is like thinking about that storyline, almost playing that out in my head. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think this, it could be a perfect storm for the sport of softball where everybody was looking forward to 20 and then,
Mhm.
everything kind of got wiped away. But think of the momentum, the passion, the excitement, the enthusiasm
Yeah.
for softball come next spring. And, we thought we had a really good thing going this year with, I think we had sold over 3,000 season tickets. And
You
I
guys were
mean,
crushing it.
I know. And,
You were
and
tweeting
then,
like every other day. Oh, sold enough, like sold
yeah,
100 more, sold 200 more. It's like
yeah.
crazy.
Well, I bought 100 one day, so that's probably why.
That's awesome.
No, I'm
I
kidding.
love that.
Um, so I think between all the ladies on USA Softball, Kat and Monica and Monroe and Kelsey and everybody just pushing the sport of softball in a positive way.
Yeah.
Next summer, I mean, it could be the best thing ever for our sport. And, and thanks to Easton too for everything that they do for both of us. Um,
Yeah.
Great company for women's athletics and always at the forefront of everything. So we appreciate what Easton does.
Oh yeah. They've gone above and beyond for us, especially during this. They're sending me like all these bats and tees and nets. I'm like quarantined. Like I have a whole full batting cage basically that Easton's helped me out with. What are your girls doing right now as far as like anything softball related or strength and conditioning related? What does that kind of look like for you guys? Because I know like that's a question that I get all the time is like, what are you doing right now? How are you working out? How are you doing this? Like, what does that look like for you guys?
Well, I know that Michelle Diltz is probably one of your mentors, and our,
Yes.
our strength coach at Alabama. She's in her 15th year, played college softball, just one of the best in the business. Um, she sent out a survey to all our girls and said, first of all, what do you have at home?
Mhm.
Because there's no gyms open. And the range of answers was incredible, as you can imagine.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because if your family was kind of a weightlifting family or a dad or a brother, lifted some weights, you might have had some. Otherwise, there was nothing.
Yeah.
So everybody responded with what they had. And then she sent back suggestions of what everybody could do.
Awesome.
And yeah, and we don't know what they're doing. We can't know that. But I'm sure they're doing the same thing that, I'm doing and trying to get better. And it's little by little, whatever you can use at home, whether it's a body weight workout, jump
Yep.
rope. I mean, there's a lot of jump ropes. I know that a friend of mine has a buddy in the kettlebell industry, and you can't find a kettlebell in the United States of America because every athlete or every wannabe athlete that would work out at home or had to work out at home called Amazon or went to their sporting goods store before all this stuff hit
Yep.
and
And
bought
bought
every
them. Yep.
kettlebell. So
We were lucky. We have three right now that we're using, and that's pretty much all we have. We have like some bands. We have a jump rope, like the little tiniest of stuff, but you can get a lot of work done, like strength based stuff, with minimal equipment, which is cool. And I saw I forget who posted it. Someone I think tweeted it out the other day, but it's like you can do front squats with a backpack and some textbooks. Like you strap the backpack on, your front, and you just squat until you can't anymore. And then someone else was using like a beach towel to do leg curls, like what would be a slide board. Like so
yeah,
freaking like people are getting so creative with that stuff, and it's really really awesome. And do you guys like talk about that when you're doing your check-ins, like Tuesday? Like,
well,
hey, you guys
Michelle,
working out? What's going on?
not really. Michelle, takes control of that whole thing.
Yeah,
So we're not supposed to. We don't know the coaches. Strength coach can check in with them. We can't.
you
So
can't,
yeah.
man. That's good. All right, another question. I'm gonna switch gears a little bit here. What is your favorite memory of me playing for you?
Oh gosh. Um, all the catches in center field.
Those were fun.
Probably one of them would definitely be the grand slam at Auburn.
Oh yeah, that
Uh,
was a good one.
yeah, when you, I mean, you hit it over the TV truck in right field, and
Yeah, that was
I
cool.
don't think, yeah, I wasn't sure. You might not have been known for a little power then, but
No, I
you
wasn't.
you
I
crushed it,
wasn't. Yeah, no,
and that
that home run was so freaking awesome because my mom refused to go to Auburn. She she wouldn't go. She never watched me play a game at Auburn, and she was watching that on TV, and she sent me like the longest text about that home run. Like just so happy. Like it's one thing to hit a grand slam in that situation. It's a completely different thing to do it at Auburn. So that was freaking awesome. That might have
and
been the
then
farthest. That might have been the farthest home run ball in college that I hit.
it cleared the TV truck, so it was pretty far.
That's awesome.
Um, Another one would be the catch or catches versus Oklahoma in Super Regionals.
Yeah,
In the
that
last
was big.
game, in the first inning, bases loaded, 2 outs, full count. If you don't catch it, 3-run score.
Yeah.
And Haylie
Whew.
made a dive across body um, and caught it at her shoestrings. That saved 3 runs, and then that was and then actually that was the same game where I was probably most proud of you. Marissa Runyon hit the grand slam, to beat an incredible Oklahoma team. But we did this video, and for you guys on here, this is a really cool story. Runyon hit this grand slam. We win the game, 5-3.
Yep.
And a filmographer in Tuscaloosa did this video called 24 Hours. And it started with Marissa the night before. She had struck out to end the game with the bases loaded, and
Mhm.
Oklahoma won game 1. And then flash forward 24 hours. Guess who's up to bat? Bases loaded, 2 outs, Marissa Runyon. But this time she hits a grand slam. Well, in the interviews afterwards with this film maker, they interviewed Haylie. And to this day, I'm so proud of her for saying this because, they interviewed just the girls on the team. And Haley's quote was, "It was one of my favorite moments ever playing at Alabama, and I'll never forget it." You guys, you weren't even on deck. You weren't
No.
one of the runners. You were in the dugout cheering for your teammate, and yet it was one of your favorite moments ever at Alabama. So I thought that showed your growth as a teammate in your 4 years, because it was just a cool thing for you to say.
Yeah. Well, it took a lot, like, for me to grow like that, I think. Like, I think when I came in my freshman year, I had all of these ambitions, and like, I wanted to be the person that got the hit, and I want to do this, and I wanted to do that, and it finally clicked. When we started talking about mudita and like all of that stuff, like, no, this is the kind of teammate that I need to be, and that was a process for me, I think. And you guys had to have a
Well,
lot of patience with me for a bit, but
you
it
were so damn competitive.
I was, yeah. I didn't like to lose. I didn't like to get beat. I didn't like to swing and miss at a single pitch, let alone three. Like, I had to deal with that failure and deal with that adversity, but it helped me so much to really buy into the fact of giving my energy to someone else and being just as happy for them as when they do it as if I did it myself. And just, there are so many cool stories that I think sometimes players miss out on because they're just so consumed with, oh, I'm 0 for 4. If I
Right.
was consumed with that, because I didn't have a good game at the plate that day. I didn't. I think I struck out like twice. Like, Paige Parker had my number. Like, she's
Yeah.
freaking stud. And that lefty-lefty matchup was like so difficult. And Runyon was experiencing the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Over
she's 0 for, yeah, 0 for
13.
13. Right, exactly. So you miss out on those stories when you just get so consumed with self. And like, being able to watch Runyon go through that, be in that with her, and to just take a hack at the first pitch, why not? And it
Yeah.
go like immediately off the bat, you knew it was gone. Like, I get chills every time I watch that video,
I
every
don't.
single time.
Do you know if that's online or
I think
YouTube
it's
or?
on YouTube. Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's on YouTube. 24 hours later, I think is what it's
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys need to go watch that, 'cause it's literally the coolest freaking story. So freaking amazing. Oh, that was such
You
a
can
good game. That was a crazy super regional.
you can learn a lot just from that 6-minute video, you
You
know,
can.
of a teammate and watching everybody celebrate her success. And there was no jealousy, there was no envy. It reminded me a lot of, or I guess 2 years ago when, or last year, 19, when Caroline Hardy pinch hit
Oh my
in the World
gosh.
Series, and
That
she
was,
gets the walk off and literally comes off the bench, 8 innings. It's the bottom of the eighth, and then she gets the hit, and we win 1-0, and she gets mobbed, and she does the same thing that you did, but the first thing out of her mouth was it was a mudita moment when Holly Rowe interviewed her right after the game. So there's ways
I
to,
had tears in my eyes when
yeah,
Caroline did that. Oh my gosh.
yeah, it was awesome.
That's so cool. Do you think, so you've had a ton of successful teams, right? In your history at Alabama, but like, do you think that mudita is what takes like a good team to a great team? Do you think it's that? Do you think it's something else?
Definitely. I mean, and I don't know if I can take my
I love
can you
that.
see it, Haley?
I absolutely
I
love
lost you
that.
for a little bit.
I can, yeah,
Anyway,
legit.
um, I would say for years and years, and I've said this 1,000 times at coaching clinics, and it's the one thing that everybody keeps asking me about. I would say, though, to our team, if you can be as happy for a teammate's success as if you did it yourself, the sky's the limit for this team. And I never knew there was a word for it. And I was reading a book at home over Christmas break, and I have it here. So it's called Help the Helper. So if you're a reader, it's a business book which combines athletics. And I loved it. It was an easy read too. But in one of the chapters, I think it was on servant leadership, the author started a paragraph saying, having vicarious joy in someone else's success. In other words, mudita. And I literally shot up in bed. I was like, holy shit, there's a word for what we've been talking about for years.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up on Wikipedia, and I was like, there it is. And that year, Jordan Patterson, on her senior day, she gave everybody those rubber bracelets that we used to wear.
Yep.
And it said mudita on it. And she attached a little note to everybody's gift. And she said, I can't think of a better word to describe this year's team. And you were on that team, I believe, weren't you?
Yep. That was my sophomore year. Yep.
Yeah. So I think it's, and the opposite of mudita is jealousy
Yep.
or envy. And there's no English word. There's no English word that would describe what mudita means.
Yeah.
There's not an equal. There
Mm-hmm.
is the opposite, which is jealousy. And to me, envy and jealousy are dirty words in team sports because everybody's seen it. Everybody's probably been in it. And when you and I are competing for the same spot, I'm a center fielder, you're a center fielder, but you beat me out. I sit at the end of the dugout and I pout and I'm jealous because you're getting to play. But
Right.
mudita doesn't allow that. And when you hit the home run versus Auburn or whoever, I'm just as happy for you as if I did it. And it's a great, great quality to have as a human. And it comes from Buddhism. And they actually have said that it's one of the 4 immeasurable qualities of a human being. And I later did some research. Isn't that cool?
Interesting.
I
That is
know.
so cool. What are the other 3? Do you know the other 3?
I can't pronounce them. They're, but they're, I should know the other 3. But they say that it's immeasurable, Haley.
That's so cool.
You can't measure it, and like when you guys won the world championships a couple of years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
wasn't it Kelsey Stewart that hits the ball
Yep.
down the third base line?
Yep.
I
For the
mean,
walk-off.
yes, the whole team, you know, runs out of the dugout and celebrates with her like they did it.
Yep.
And I think this is another thing that, you guys can develop as a team, over the next 16 months or whatever.
Yeah,
Just truly,
no doubt.
truly love each other, have each other's back, whether you're a pitcher, catcher, whatever, because there has to be backups, you know.
Right.
There's going to
Right.
be another outfielder. There's going to be, you know, I don't know, 4 pitchers on the pitching staff.
Yeah.
So you got to be as happy for everybody else's success as if it was your own.
Yep. And if one bad egg gets in there, it can ruin the entire thing. It's got to be all
Yes.
18 or
One,
however many are on the roster.
yes, one fly in the bottle of perfume spoils the whole bottle.
I love that. I'm gonna steal that one. I like that. I like that, Murphisms. Well, thanks so much for being on, Murph. Thanks for chatting with me. I feel all nostalgic now. I'm gonna go train and relive all of my favorite college games. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you're awesome. We love you. Hope everybody's doing good. Everybody hang in there, okay? Because I know this is trying times, but we will get through this. You know, this too shall pass, right, Haylie?
Heck yeah, this too shall pass, and the best is yet to come.
That's right. All
Thanks
right.
again, Murph.
All right. See ya.
Bye.